Alrighty guys, welcome back to Balake's Fish Room. I haven't done a video in just over a week. My last one I think was on the red terrors, just a bit of an update on them. And there's quite a lot to actually go through, but today I was just getting my water changes done. There's a few things that I'm actually treating right now, infection wise and that kind of thing. So I thought no better time to do my March update other than now while I'm going through every one of the tanks. So I thought I'd just start on this aquarium in here. These guys actually had a water change 4 or 5 days ago, so I won't be doing them today, but I thought I'd start off with them. So obviously we're in front of the Mesoheros Argentinas tank. So this guy, he's actually my favorite fish at the moment, and I think he will be for quite a while. This guy's name is Cronus. Cronus, like the Greek god. So he was the father of Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, and all those Greek gods. And the reason why I named him Cronus, one is a lot of fish, they end up eating their own fry, which is quite fitting because Cronus ate all of his kids. But the other reason, he was, peaceful one moment and then an absolute asshole the next, and same with this guy. So I thought that was a pretty fitting name. And then his female, which is in here somewhere, here she is. She's a lot shyer and she hides behind this big wall of mangrove roots and everything like that. So her name is Rhea, which is the name of Cronus's wife. So this tank has been going really, really well. And I just wanted to touch on a couple of things as to why I think it's doing really, really well. The most aggressive fish in this aquarium, at least right now, is these guys, the blue eyes. So probably this one that's here. So this is a male blue eye, and it's actually paired up with a female convict cichlid. So I think this, she's just hidden. But there's a female convict that's around here, and basically all the males, there's one female blue eye that's in this aquarium. I'll see if I can find her. There she is. So that's the only female blue eye, but she's not the only competition. They're actually all competing for the female convicts and the female blue eye as well. So there's a whole bunch of competition going on in the tank, and it's really entertaining for this dude. So he just sees all the little fish fighting, and he's chasing them around the tank and everything like that. And you can see his nuchal hump's really starting to fill out and get a lot bigger. But yeah, I think that was the key to getting the male and the female Argentinas to really get along, was actually getting some of these fish, which are pretty feisty, that can hide away from him. So these guys can obviously get into little nooks and crannies and move around a lot faster than he can. But he takes away a lot of that aggression dispersion out of the tank, which is really, really interesting. You might see there's this little fish here. So this is one of the little convict cichlids which are bred in here and has been able to survive. So I think there's definitely one. There might be another little one swimming around somewhere, but I think it's really cool to do it like that as well, is to have fish in an environment where they do have to replicate the wild, where they've, the strongest survive, the survival of the fittest kind of thing. So I know that out of the 200 or 300 baby convicts that were spawned at that point, that little guy, that little sole survivor, which is, he's just popping in and around. He knows his tank like the back of his fins, I guess. But he's just swimming around having the best time and absolutely confident. And he's got to the size where he's about a centimeter long. So I think he's going to be a survivor. So I know that he is the best out of those fish, which is quite cool. So I'm not trying to actively breed convicts or anything like that. But just a cool thing to note, I guess. So that's probably enough on this tank. It's already 5 minutes in. I tend to babble off quite a lot. So we might just finish up with this tank and head over to the fry tank that we've got on the bench in here. Okay guys, so this is the fry tank which I'm growing out these little red-based snooks. So there's probably 50 odd that have survived. I think I've lost some to just the big ones eating the small ones and everything like that, but also I haven't been as actively taking care of these guys as I probably should have. But another really cool thing is the peppermint bristlenose, which are in the tank that I just showed you. They actually spawned for me as well, and so I've taken those baby peppermint bristlenose out, and you can see them just here. There's probably 30 or 40 of them in here as well. Let's try and get you know, we've got a bunch that are up on the glass here, and then a bunch down here as well that are just yeah, just a really cool thing. So I'm kind of growing out my own cleaning crew, and what I found with peppermint bristlenose, they tend not to mess with larger cichlids fry or the eggs, at least in that tank that I've got the parents in right now. So I might end up having the cleaning crew as the peppermint bristlenose in every one of the tanks, which is pretty cool. So I won't have to pay for that, and eventually I can start maybe selling some of these baby peppermints, and yeah, so cool little bit of progress. And hopefully in the next couple of months these guys get to the size where I can actually sell them. So all right, let's head out to the fish room where we're doing the water changes, and there's actually some really cool things that have happened in the fish room, so let's have a look. Okay guys, so what we might do in the fish room is start from the bad and finish on the good. So nothing too bad has happened, but we did get a case of white spot that happened in this tank. So I started to notice that the larger marbled Fenestratus, I think it wasn't this guy, but it was this one here, started to get a pretty bad case of white spot. And it's hard to tell on fish like that because it could start in a little patch, but all of a sudden it was pretty much covered in the white spot disease. So for the past 4 days I've been treating this one, had all the lights off in the entire fish room to try and get on top of it. So we're now at the day where we're doing a big water change. So I've already done a good gravel vacuum around the tank to get rid of all the crap that was in here. So I might actually, well, I haven't switched sides yet, so I might switch sides, and hopefully that the water still keeps flowing. And so just going around here now, just doing a good gravel vacuum and just getting any excess waste out of the tank. But a bit of a what's going on here? Probably the worst thing that's happened in this aquarium is the male Festae doesn't look too good. I'll get around to his side in just a second, just while we do a bit of a gravel vacuum here. And okay, we might just let that just drain the water out. So the female, you can see her fin down here, so I've just turned on the lights to these guys, so that's why she's hiding. So see if I can get a bit of a shot around there. So that's the female in there, so she's doing really well, absolutely no issues. But the male who's back here, and he looks okay from that end. We'll see if we can get a bit of a shot. I might have to put this on pause. Oh, what happened? I might have to put it on pause while I try and get a bit of a better shot of him. But I do want to have a good look at his head because I haven't really had a good look while the light's been on. Actually, yeah guys, give me 2 seconds. I'll see if I can get him out of that pipe and we'll have a look. All right, you can kind of see him coming out now. I'm not going to move in too close, but I am going to zoom. So he's got this weird white growth that's happening on his head, and I haven't had a good look yet. So I still might try and actually get him out and actually assess what's going on with him. So yeah, give me 2 seconds. Okay guys, so I've got a bit of a bird's eye view. So it doesn't look fungal. It doesn't look like it's an infection or it's infected for that matter. But what it does look like, it's he's lost a few scales. So I'm just gonna pop him back in because I think all it is, it's a case of the female's been a bit aggressive towards him, and all I'm gonna do to actually treat this guy is I'm gonna put a lot of sea salt in the water to kind of assist in the healing process, and just give him fresh water. So not much else to tell in this tank, guys. Just got to take a bit more care, I guess, with them now. If the female starts to pick on him too much and keeps attacking him, then maybe it's time to put the female over that side of the divider and take the marble Fenestratus out. I do have a couple of spare tanks at the moment, so the marbled fens can go into a different tank so that the white spot doesn't really spread anywhere else. And yeah, anyway, let's move on to the next tank for a little bit more positive news. Okay, so let's have a look at these crazy bastards. So over here we've got the male and the female red-based snook, and she is absolutely insane right now, but it's funny how quickly that changes. So they've just had another spawn. So you can see all around the rim of this big pot here, absolutely everywhere. I reckon there's near on 1,000 eggs here. So they're absolutely everywhere. So we've got the female, she's guarding her pot. So this is the red-based snook, or the Patenia splendida. So a lot of people don't really like these fish or aren't a massive fan. I think they're absolutely gorgeous, and when I look at fish, I look at them of how, you know, they've evolved and how different these fish are from most other fish. The length that these guys can actually elongate their jaw to is pretty insane, and I think it's really cool, the different colors that they come in and everything like that. So just standing back for now, so I'm just doing this while the Festae tank is draining out. So really basic kind of design. I've got just sand as the substrate in the bottom. I've got a nice big log that for now they both can hide in, but hopefully as the male gets a bit bigger, the female can just take refuge in there and the male can kind of dominate the rest of the tank. And but it's funny, when they actually start to spawn, or once they lay eggs, the female doesn't want anything to do with the male. She just wants to protect the eggs herself. But then when the eggs hatch, and this has been the last 2 times that they've spawned, when the eggs actually hatch, the female backs off, or she actually starts trying to eat the babies, and all of a sudden the male becomes really dominant and really protective over the fry. So yeah, it's just funny how it all changes. I mean, like I said in actually I don't think I posted that video. I was trying to do a bit of a breeding update on these guys, but they didn't actually hatch, so I might do it this time round. But she gets these beautiful orange stripes, and she goes this really deep orange, which is a spawning dress. So she's just protecting them so much right now. So I'm gonna leave these guys alone. I'm gonna turn the light off. But yeah, this is the red-based snook tank, and next I think we'll move on to the Salvini. All right, so here's the Salvini tank. So you'll notice the biggest difference, the biggest change is the divider. So I had 4 Salvini in here. I had the breeding pair and another 2, which I believe they were both female. Actually no, one was definitely female, the other one I couldn't really tell. But since taking those 2 out, and as you would have seen in the last video, we did have a spawn of these guys. So there are a bunch of little babies swimming around in here. I don't know if you can see them. I'll see if I can find a little group. Where are they? But anyway, so down here we've got the female. So she was the boss of the tank, and all of a sudden she started getting picked on pretty heavily by the male, which is a bit of a shame. But that's why with these South and Central American cichlids, you just need to have the dividers on hand, because something might be working absolutely perfectly one day, and then all of a sudden it's disaster. So the male is over this side, so he's just down here, so he just kind of keeps to himself over this side in his caves. You can see a few of the fry kind of swimming along here, It's a little bit hard to film these tanks down the bottom, but it's still it's good to have more tanks. But yeah, that's what's happening in this tank. Giving them both a bit of a timeout, and once the female starts to come good again and show a bit more, you know, signs of aggression or attitude, I guess what you could say, then we'll take the divider back out and get them back in together. But for now, just a bit of a timeout from one another so that they can fall back in love. All right, let's move on to the next aquarium. Okay guys, so I've got to wrap this one up soon because I've got the little puppy down here that wants to get out there and have a run around. So I wanted to kind of save the best till last, but while the light's on, let's do an update on the black nasties. The best thing has ever happened today, which I'm really excited about. The black nasties have spawned. So the reason I'm focusing on this pot here, and I don't know if you've seen her yet, poke a little head out, but in here is the female, or one of the female black nasties that is in this aquarium. And I want to see if we can focus up and get a bit clearer view. Maybe we're not going to, but we do have eggs. We do have black nasty eggs, so I have no idea if they're fertile. The male was definitely showing signs of fertility. However, something insane has happened, that the other female, which is in here, she's also dropped her spawning tube. So he might be over here now fertilizing this female's eggs, which is just insane. So I have had the light off on these guys for quite a while the Festaes have been healing. So I'm not going to keep the light on for these guys too much longer. But guys, we've had the first batch of eggs, so we're gonna see in the next couple of weeks, I guess, or the next week or so, whether they hatch and whether we have some little black nasty fry swimming around. But yeah, really exciting stuff. I've got another 3 black nasties down in this tank here. I'm pretty sure we've got a pair and maybe a subdominant male, but not 100%. Nothing really else to update on that tank down the bottom. So we might move right along to the last tank, which have fish in there, which is the marbled Fenestratus, and we'll call it a day. Now guys, nothing really has changed much in this aquarium other than we've taken out a couple of the larger marbled Fenestratus, the ones that I thought was another pair, which still might be. They're just not showing any signs of spawning or anything like that, and they're in with the Festae. So these guys, this tank is probably the tank that's going the best at the moment. So we've got the big bopper down here. So this guy's easily 30 centimeters. So I really like him because, like I said in the last one when I first introduced them, he's just got the, hang on, let's focus up here. So he's just got that little patch of white, which is cool. He's just got the little recessive gene of the marbling. And then we've got these ones, obviously, like the mostly white ones with a little bit of marbling. We've got this deformed one with the crooked mouth, who we call Frankie. This one's probably my favorite large one here. So it's got quite a lot of maroon, which I really like. And then most of the actual middle of the body is that nice white color. And then this guy's female, which is here as well. But yeah, got a whole bunch of these guys growing up really well together. They're doing well in the community kind of environment, which is nice. So yeah, everything's going well in this tank as well. I might end up having to sell a couple of these on, like I said, but for now, everything's just ticking away nicely. So guys, look, there's not much else to report on for the month of March. I'm still working away on the fish room, getting the lighting completed, so I should have that all done and dusted by the end of this month. I'm not really trying to rush anything. The main goal was to get the new tanks actually set up and the fish in their tanks, and with, like I said in the last one, with the closed loop system all done and sponge filters coming from every which way. It's really easy just for the fish to have a good good tank to live in, and as long as they're healthy, the rest of it can kind of gradually come. The thing that I was kind of unsure about, and probably the thing that I was thinking about the most, is that at all times the priority of the fish room has always got to be the fish. You know, these YouTube videos, while I really love doing them, it's not the priority. The priority is making sure the fish have a healthy home to live in, and I don't want to rush anything. I don't want to rush through and install something that might not be right. I don't want to put bright lights in that might deter the fish from living comfortably, and I just don't want to make mistakes just because I'm trying to rush things through to get another video out or something like that. It's not really my style, and yeah, I hope you guys can appreciate that. So anyway, guys, without further ado, I'm going to wrap this one up. So if you've got any comments, tips, or tricks about keeping these large South or Central American cichlids, please leave them in the comment section below. If you have any advice for me, I'd really appreciate it. And I guess until next time, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.